I'm with Heather Todoruk, the owner and pharmacist at Harris Pharmacy. Today is Tuesday, the 27th of April, and this is National Immunization Awareness Week. Were you aware of that, Heather? I guess I should ask you first of all.
I didn't know that. All we do is watch for COVID stuff, and I didn't realize that. So there we go.
I picked that up on the news, on the TV news this morning. So, yeah,
Okay.
I know you're definitely watching the information on the COVID stuff, and I know you're giving vaccinations. I'd like to know, when did you get started and how's it going?
So we received 100 doses of the AstraZeneca from the provincial government on April the 6th, and then when was it? No, the week before that. So we spent 2 full days giving vaccinations, and a little bit of a storm hit, so we had a few that we had to do the beginning of the next week, and we were done. 3 days of vaccinations got us done. We ended up with 110. We did end up with the extra dose out of every vial, which they had informed us we may get, and we were lucky enough to get the extra dose. So we did 110, and now we're just waiting to hear what's going to happen with the next rollout of vaccines when they arrive in the province.
Okay, that's good. So these were all by appointment, or did you have walk-ins? Did you contact people, or they phoned you? How did that work?
Yeah, so what they did was they left the pharmacies as green, meaning that you could phone and make an appointment. So we had quite a few phone calls, and we were out of our stock before the provinces reduced the AstraZeneca age to 40. So, of course, once that happened, we had a lot of phone calls, but thus we had already informed the province that we were done, and then they switched us to red, meaning that we have no stock left or our appointments are full. But no, we had lots of phone-ins. It was kind of the majority of how we did it, or if we, saw somebody in store, some of the physicians did the same AstraZeneca, so they kind of, picked through their clientele, I believe, and they took phone calls as well, and so that got our appointments filled.
Yeah. So you said the age range. So were you at the 65 plus range at that point?
Yeah, so we were 55 to 64, and there was two different priority groups depending on medical condition, and then we could also do anybody over the age of 65. We were kind of, because at that point, anybody over the age of 60, I believe, could go to a super center or a pop-up clinic. We were kind of informed to try and focus on those priority groups just because they had to wait longer, and, the other ones were eligible. But of course, you have some people that can't travel or, don't want to travel or are more comfortable, coming here. So we just took, whoever called, and when our appointments were filled, we contacted the province and said, turn our pharmacy to red, no longer receiving appointments.
Right. So how long do you think before you might get some more? Do you have any idea on that?
We don't know. They haven't given us any direction on what is happening with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It's the one and done, they keep calling it. And it's supposed to be in the country this week, but Tenassi has not given their guidelines, and so of course none of the provinces have either. I know in the U.S. they were giving it to anybody over the age of 18. It's kind of a unique one in that, it is one and done. You're not worried about booking a second appointment and that kind of thing. So whether it is also a refrigerated vaccine, unlike the Pfizer and the Moderna that are freezers. So easier for, us to, and doctors' offices to have. But, and the AstraZeneca, our next AstraZeneca order is not supposed to arrive until sometime in June. Now, the U.S. just announced this morning they're going to share 60 million doses, but they haven't given the breakdown of what countries and quantities that are going out. So I've been watching for that today, hoping that Canada is going to get some again.
Yeah, so that, you might be in a couple of weeks be available to offer, them again, but it doesn't look like it's immediate this week or next week, I suppose.
No, not unless, because it came, when they get into the country this week, they get shipped to the provinces next week. So, the Johnson & Johnson, there was only 300,000 doses that came in. When the AstraZeneca, our first shipment was 500,000, the province of Manitoba was allotted 17,000. So we're probably, I'm guessing like 10,000 doses. I think they're going to target certain populations with Johnson & Johnson because of one dose, go into those, communities where that might be harder to get people to get the second dose,
Yeah.
or or the homeless community or people experience homelessness and that type
True.
of thing. I mean, that would be the ideal population to give it to. To me, in my mind, but I mean, they're going to make that decision, not me.
Yeah, well, certainly conditions are changing. Everything's fluid, and
Yeah.
people just have to be, listening for what's happening, watching Facebook, listening to the news, or whatever. Well, we appreciate you doing that and taking the time here today to give us a little bit of an update. And I'm sure you encourage everybody to get a vaccine wherever they can.
Yeah, as soon as you're eligible, go and get it. And I know that they're at 50 and up to go to the pop-ups and the super centers. But with these new priority groups that they're releasing every few days, they did say the age of 50 and up will stay for some time now,
Okay.
until they because they're trying to do target certain areas or certain groups that are high caseloads. So the age limit may stick for quite some time. They're saying 3 to 4 weeks is kind of what they're implying. So
Well, thank you very much, Heather.
no problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
take care.
Yeah. Bye bye.